everybody, and welcome to Multiverse's virtual convention. We are here at the Kitchen Witch's house here in Andrew, Pennsylvania, but instead of in my kitchen today, we are out at my outdoor bar, and we're going to talk all about beverages because, as we know, it's very important to stay hydrated during a convention. It is also very important to enjoy your beverage of choice at a convention. So we are going to talk about all kinds of wonderful cocktails. I have some non-alcoholic things as well as something special for the kiddies. So I'm honored to have you here with me. For those of you who don't know, I have been the Kitchen Witch at Multiverse's very first convention in 2019. I was able to feed all of you at the con suite, and if you are interested in finding the recipes from last year's con suite, you can go to my website, mamamakercook.com, and order your own copy of my cookbook, The Kitchen Witch Grimoire: How to Feed a Host of Magical People on a Budget. And now we are just about to get started on some beverages. So give me just a moment, I'll be right back. Welcome back. So for this year's virtual convention, I've made a few signature cocktails, and the first one that I'm going to share with you is called the Multiverse. So I personally love a nice shaken martini, and what we're going to do is make it a little extra special. So first, I'm going to put some ice into my shaker, and I highly recommend measuring your liquors and liqueurs and alcohol of all kinds, because while many people think that they know what a 2-ounce pour looks like, it's very difficult actually to get it exactly correct. So if you want to make sure that you're getting equal amounts of things, it's just better to measure. So on top of my ice, I'm putting 2 ounces of vodka. I'm using a gluten-free potato vodka, but obviously you can use any vodka you would like. Now, here's the part that makes this martini so special, and it's a creme de voilette, which is a herbal violet liqueur. It's actually, this one is made from Austria. They have French ones and all kinds of lovely ones that you can get. So pretty much anything that's got that beautiful purple color. Oh, and that wonderful floral flavor. So now that we have 2 ounces of each of our liqueurs and some ice in there, I'm going to crack this baby on and shake it, which will both blend it and make it nice and cold. Now, the fun part about cocktails is that it's always harder to get the top off than it is to get it on, but that's okay because we're just going to strain it. So how we're going to start our martini off is with a spoonful of boba pearls, which is what makes this one super special. And then going to add our nice bright purple liqueur. Oh, clouds in front of the sun. Might be too dark to see there. All right, so what we... Ooh, anyone else see that? That wasn't creepy at all. All right, so what we have here is a martini that you can see all the beautiful pink on the bottom and all the beautiful purple on top. Looks a lot like the Multiverse logo on the t-shirts this year. I wonder if that's a coincidence. So just to brighten it up, I'm going to top it off with a little bit of sparkling water. I like to use an orange flavor, but anything will do. And there we go. You can see all those beautiful colors. Cheers. Oh my goodness, that's so good. All right, well, I'm going to set this one aside for myself and get set up for your next cocktail. You can say hello. Me first. Okay. Hi everybody, and welcome back. I would love to show you guys a wonderful beverage that is great for the kids. It's called the Kitty Con Cup, and what we have here
Kitty Con Cup.
kitty con cup. What we have here is some boba bubbles, the popping kind. That's my kid's favorite. So basically we're just going to make a fun non-alcoholic beverage that'll be awesome for the kids to wander around the house and enjoy their Zoom calls. We're going to put about 1/4 of a cup in the bottom of the cup, so they got lots of good little bubbles. These are pink strawberry bubbles. Pink strawberry boba bubbles. Isn't that exciting?
I love
all right.
pink strawberry boba
And then
bubbles.
we also have some diced maraschino cherries. Do you want cherries in yours?
No.
No. Okay, would you like some cherries in yours? Okay, great. So this gives a couple of fun textures that'll go right up through the straw. You just want to dice them up a little bit. And now we're going to put a few cubes of ice in each cup. Maybe. Really? That was perfect. Right?
Sticking together.
I'm going to get better clippers. You're my kid. I can use my hands. All right. Oh, you touched it. Put it in your cup. All right, good. That's enough. All right, and then you want to top it off with your favorite lemonade. We around here love, I should have pre-opened that just in case it explodes. Woo! We around here love a little bit of a bubbly lemonade. So we're going to put that right on top. Bubbles! There's one for you. There's one for you.
Mine's pretty tall.
It is pretty tall. What do you think?
You're popping.
They're popping. So here is a fun way to keep your kids interested and excited and hydrated during the at-home virtual con season. What do you think, guys? You like it? Mm-hmm. Can I try it? Mmm. That's so cool. I did. All right. So I'm going to let these little helpers go back inside and enjoy their day and their beverages, and I'll be back with you in just a few minutes. Hey everybody, I have invited my wonderful friend Julie, who is the bar witch, to my kitchen witch, to join me today. And one of the great things about our special quarantine here in Andrew, Czechoslovakia is that we have a small pod of people, so we can invite someone over to enjoy our bar, which is one way to make it through the summer of our discontent. So what we are going to do today is, or right now today, is make some margaritas. Yay! Now I went ahead and juiced a bunch of limes off camera because it would have been incredibly boring for you to watch me do all of that. So for this one, this is the Creature from the Blue margarita. And we're going to start off with 2 cups of lime juice. Just like that. Now, tequila is a very personal choice. Far be it for me to make anyone's choice for them. I have gone with a habanero tequila because Julie and I both like it spicy. So what we're going to do here is have 3 cups of tequila. Now, if you really like a smoky flavor, you could go with a mezcal. You really don't have to go with the spicy tequila on this one. If you like your traditional sort of blue margaritas, just a regular Blanco or a silver would be fine. And then we've got the magical Curacao, which is what gives it that crazy blue color. It is actually an orange flavored liqueur, and you know, with a bit of blue dye. Ooh, look at me. I did not make sure this was all going to fit in there, but that's okay because I have my little K-bar chopstick because my husband's Marine, so I have a K-bar chopstick to stir things up with.
Still a pretty color.
It still is a beautiful color. Look at that. Ooh, and you know, we can top it off with that. I throw a little ice in here so that Julie and I can try it. Now, as a fun garnish, since we are in the Blue Lagoon here, I took some little jellyfish, make a slit in them so that they'll stick on the rim, and you can just stick it right on, just like that.
It can stay forever in this humidity.
Exactly, and in this humidity, it will stick perfectly. Gonna put this little magic in here.
Pretty.
I'm gonna top it off with a little extra blue since you're supposed to like measure twice and cut once, right? Clearly did not do that. Ah, see, they're about the same color. Perfect. That's what I'm talking about.
See, you know how you do it.
All right.
Want me first?
Yes, you first. Give it a try. Tell me what you think.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Oh, it's good.
Yeah.
Very spicy on the back end.
Oh, nice.
That's yummy. I haven't tried this with the habanero before.
I haven't like really done the curacao and the habanero together
It's
before.
really good.
But it's amazing how it's really sweet in the front and then it kind of grows on you. Like, I might have to make some queso dip later because I've got a picture of this.
This really takes out the sickeningly sweet part of what a blue margarita usually turns into.
Right, it definitely breaks down that sweetness and cuts it. It's spectacular. All right, good. So this is our margarita from the Blue Lagoon. Or wait, yes.
Blue margarita.
Creature from the Blue Margarita. It's almost like I gave myself notes in case I forgot what I was saying. Which for any of you who've watched any of the other videos realize that's probably a good update. All right, the next one, I have a larger pitcher, so we should be okay. What we're going to do, this is the Mangarita. So we're taking our margarita with a Japanese twist for our manga fans. So what we're going to start with here, we have all kinds of fun things.
Yay.
The magic that makes this a Mangarita is a chunky flavored aloe beverage.
Chunky.
Chunky. So,
I've never used this behind a bar before.
right? And she's done a lot behind a
But
bar.
I'm excited.
So, it has that little, like, bubbly aloe chunky flavor, like, similar to the boba kind of has the big bits of chunk, and this is kind of smaller chunky bits, but also it just, there's something super special about that.
Something you often find at like a Korean spa.
Right?
Very hydrating while you deplete yourself.
Okay. Yeah, here we go. And exactly. So if you're going to dehydrate yourself with alcohol, you should totally mix it with something hydrational, like aloe. All right, so hydrational. I made that one up. Okay, so we can all see our little chunky bits here. Ooh,
Yes.
chunky bits. All right. So we have 4 cups of that. And then we are going to go with 1 cup of tequila, which is right here. Let's see. And then 1 cup of our curacao. Excuse me. All right, technical difficulties. I think I inhaled a gnat or something, which is not an attractive thing to watch on camera.
That's
But
not unusual here.
I mean, right? Screened in portraits can only do so much. All right, so 1 cup of this good
pretty
stuff, right? So we have 1 cup of the tequila, 1 cup of the curacao, 4 cups of the chunky bits, and then we are going to do, helps when you pre-open things when you're on camera so you don't have to do it. Please remind me, 1 cup of orange juice. All right, and there we go. So this one came out super green,
Very pretty.
very exciting to me.
This guy.
And then we are going to top it off
Ooh.
with bubbling flavored. This is a citron flavored sake. So what we're going to do is use that as a topper. This is our base. So I'm going to put some ice in here for us. And put our lovely base here.
Oh, that one's so pretty.
And then this is our citron flavored sake to just give it a little bit of effervescence and that extra special fermented rice flavor. Go ahead, I'll let you have the first sip.
You don't get candy with this?
This one does not have candy. I could have done candy. You could stick some boba in it. You know, whatever.
That's really good. That's really good, and it is refreshing. I like the aloe.
I like how the aloe, it almost has that glycerin, like coats your mouth and is very soothing. So if you've had a little too much of everything else to drink, this will calm you down a little bit on your face, not in your brain. All right, so these are our 2 Multiverse margaritas. And I'm going to start clearing up a little bit here and move on to the next round. Yay!
Hi.
Hi! All right, so now for our next drink, we're actually moving into the science fiction track because Multiverse obviously covers an entire many genre of fantasies and fandoms. And my husband was like, well, where's the science fiction one? So after a little research, I decided to go with something called a Guinan flip. So Guinan was the bartender played by Whoopi Goldberg, and right? I was like, clearly the coolest bartender in the entire like Starfleet universe.
Galaxy.
Obviously. So I looked a little bit into her history, and she spent a few centuries on Earth back in the day, in the 1800s. And so I looked at the most popular mixed drink in London at the time that her character lived there, which was called a flip. And so we are making one in her honor. So this one's for you, Whoopi. All right, so we're going to start with a dark stout. And I went with a Samuel Smith's, which is actually a brewery that's been around since, I believe it actually says here, since like 17 something or other.
A very long time ago.
A very, very long time. since many ago. In England, it's one of the older beer breweries still kicking. So we're gonna give ourselves a little bit of spiced rum. Rum was actually the most popular spirit back in the day because that was when everybody was newly in love with sugarcane. And so rum, of course. I went with a dark spiced rum because
Yummy.
yummy. Now typically they would be sweetened because everybody was so enamored with sugar. So I'm going to add just a tiny bit of simple syrup. And simple syrup is something you don't really have to buy unless you really want to. It keeps super well in the fridge, and it's just when you take equal amounts of sugar and water and boil it until the sugar dissolves. Boom, simple syrup. All right, once again, my little K-bar chopstick, otherwise known as a stirrer. Are you a beer drinker? I don't think I've ever seen you drink a beer.
I am not usually a beer drinker.
You don't have to be today.
I like a rum drink.
Mm.
So I'm curious to give it a shot.
I love a stout. And that spiced rum.
Ooh, it's kind of milky.
Yeah, it tastes like chocolate and spices. It tastes almost like tastes like a Mexican chocolate,
yeah.
right? Like those yes.
It's really good.
That's delicious. I'm gonna get that one for myself. All right. So that one's for you, Whoopi. We love you. We love you. All right. Here we're going to move on to our next one.
Yay!
Right? Yay, many more boozes. So back in the day, in a slightly different part of the world, when vodka was becoming popular. I love vodka. So, when vodka was becoming popular in Russia, the most popular vodkas had cracked black pepper in them.
That sounds delightful.
Right? So also, in the United States in the current day, black pepper vodka comes in two varieties. It comes in the inexpensive and more Americanized versions, which are not my favorite kinds.
Same.
And it comes in incredibly expensive Russian versions.
Also true.
And every once in a while you can find a good Russian one that is not expensive, but I have figured out the workaround, and that is that I made a spiced pepper simple syrup. So it's basically black
Perfect.
pepper, and I went ahead and threw in a Tabasco pepper from the garden, my
Might as
mom's
well.
garden. Thanks, Mom. Because once we were going there, we were gonna go there, right? I mean, this is a convention. Let's do it. All right. So this is called a Grand Huzzah, and what we have here is kind of a Moscow Mule with a little extra kick. It kind of bites you back. All right. So let's start with our ice in our mule cup. If you don't have a mule cup, use any mug or a highball or.
You
like-
must buy a mule cup.
I mean, if you're
I'm just
extra, if you're extra,
Which-
buy yourself a mule cup.
I am.
I mean, clearly we're extra. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the simple syrup in first, just because that way everything as it comes over it, it'll kind of blend in together. So we're just going to do about an ounce of our simple syrup, which is super spicy.
Very spicy.
And then we're going to go with our vodka. I'm going to do 3 ounces of vodka in this, which is stronger than your average cocktail, but it's about, 1.5, 2 cocktails worth of vodka. But if it's going to kick you back, it should kick hard. And I personally love citrus, and so I've saved half of my lime to go in there because I like that bitterness that it adds. And I have the juice of a whole lime that's going in there. And once we have all of those goodies, you want to find the spiciest ginger beer you can find.
Because why go weak
Because-
when you could go home?
I mean, all out on this one. So once again, my special chopsticks stir.
See, now this one I'm a little afraid of.
Ah.
Because I'm familiar with your level of spicy.
I didn't overdo it because with the pepper.
Oh, it's really good. It's not too
Yay.
spicy.
Yeah, no, and also if you want it super, super spicy, like blend that pepper up into your simple
Very good.
syrup
I
with
love it.
all of the seeds and all of the things. Get a blender and
Ooh.
get crazy.
That lime is shining.
Right?
Yeah.
I love the brightness. Mmm.
It's really good.
Oh my goodness.
So if you wanted to kick it up, what would you do?
So if you wanted to kick it up, you could slice up like fresh Tabasco pepper right out of the garden and pop it in there, swirl it around, leave it in if you want it to keep burning, or just give it a swirl. Also, if Tabasco peppers aren't available or around or close by, you could, pick up any spicy pepper from the garden or the farmer's market or, wherever.
Bet you could add ginger. Too.
You could also add grated ginger. We also have another drink coming up soon with grated ginger.
Grated ginger makes everything yummy.
Mm-hmm.
That's really good.
Woo! I love it. All right.
This is so
So that's
you
the
did
pepper.
just black pepper and a Tabasco
Black
and
pepper.
simple syrup.
Mm-hmm. And a simple syrup. So I'm making the simple syrup, and this recipe will be on the website. Both the Multiverse website and my website, so mamamakercook.com or multiversecon.org. But basically it's a cup of water, a cup of sugar, 1 Tabasco pepper, and a tablespoon of cracked pepper. Boil it until the sugar melts, and then turn it down to simmer. Let it simmer for about 10 minutes to get all the pepper juice in.
It's very
If you want it to be super spicy, leave the seeds and the sinew and everything from the inside of the pepper in. And if you want it to be mildly spicy like we have here, just take the seeds out. And that's it. That's this round, and it's time to set up for another round.
Yay!
Alrighty, we are set up for our next beverage. The first one of these is actually a non-alcoholic beverage for those of you who don't imbibe in the spirits and or just need a little rehydration during your long stay-at-home con. So this is called the Blood of My Enemies Punch. Naturally, we're going to be drinking it out of a skull. A glass will do. We're going to start out with, this is the juice of 3 blood oranges, which makes it a little on the red side. And we have pomegranate juice, and here we have 3 cups of very strongly brewed spiced chai tea, okay? I know chai means tea, but if you just say spiced tea, people don't know what you're talking about. So we're going to add our orange right in there. And then we are going to add our pomegranate juice.
Now, is the pomegranate juice sweetened?
This is not a sweetened one. You can absolutely use like the regular palm sweetened ones, whatever you like. Personally, and I know you feel this way too, neither of us really drink sweet tea.
Right.
So in the recipe that you'll find online, it also says if you would like to sweeten your wonderful punch, to use a simple syrup, about 1/4 cup. But since Julie and I both drink unsweetened tea, and we're both Southerners, isn't that weird? So I'm going to skip it because we'll enjoy it more without it.
It does look bloody.
It does. Isn't that fantastic?
Yeah.
I mean, if you're gonna have a punch, that's the way to go.
Scary.
Scary.
Oh, but tasty.
Mmm.
Mmm. That's really good.
Ooh, I like the cardamom in there.
Mm-hmm.
I think the orange juice is just enough sweetness for me.
Very, very perfect because it doesn't taste sickeningly.
Right. It's
sweet.
definitely
It's
not.
like nice, refreshing. It would be nice by the pool.
It would be so nice.
It would be nice by the pool.
I miss pools. All right, so here we go with our next beverage. And this one is called a Briar Rose. And it's in honor of my personal favorite fairy tale, the Briar Rose, which has been modernized into Sleeping Beauty. And so we are going to mix this one up just a little bit. Oops, once again, I forgot to take the top off of something, which is really funny because I'm just going to pass it off camera and it's going to magically open itself. And then,
exciting.
while that's happening, let me tell you about this part. So this is a blackberry flavored brandy, which is actually my husband's favorite beverage. And the blackberry brandy really gives it a nice, rich, sweet taste. And we have 2 ounces of apple cider. I'm not using a spiced cider in this because it's, since we're going to put some other fruity and herbal flavors in it, it would just kind of compete. And then we have 2 ounces of blackberry brandy. There's our briars to go with our Briar Rose. Now, reaching off camera, where magically the gin opened itself. This is an herbal gin, but it's not as juniper-y
Yum.
as a lot.
This one. This is good.
This is the good stuff. It's not as quite as juniperish. It's really got like a lot more herbal flavors with just a hint of that rosin. So I'm gonna put that right in there. And personally, I really like using some of the older distilleries when I buy stuff. I like to kind of support the old school. Like this is a very old school. But there are wonderful new gens coming out of the US and coming out of other places, so you can really find more modern ones with all kinds of different flavor profiles, but I like the pink. Pink, right. The pink is special.
And it's pretty.
He's so pretty. All right, and here is what makes this a briar rose. We have a little bit of rose water, which is very, very, very strong. And so the recipe calls for basically a drop of rose water, which is very hard to measure out because if you try and pour this in there, you're going to end up with a mouthful of roses, which won't be fun. So I'm going to take a little bamboo skewer and just dip the tip in there and then use that to stir my beverage because it will give it a tiny, tiny little taste without tasting like you're chewing on a flower.
What's wrong with chewing on a flower?
I mean, if you want to chew on a flower, you just go right ahead. And then to finish off our cocktail, I'm going to put some pieces of ice in it. And top it off with your favorite sparkling beverage. I like to have one that's a little citrusy, cuts through the sweetness. If you really like sweet beverages, you could use like a ginger ale or a sparkling apple cider or something. So give that a try.
So pretty. Oh, that's really good. That's nice. You're right about the rose. I didn't expect to be able to taste it. It's so little.
Right. It's just enough to, and it enhances the. That is actually my own mix.
I was going to say, once you get in a bar, you actually need a squeezer for
right. You don't have to be extra enough to make your own flavored rose water, but if you are that extra, you can probably find the recipe online. But
it's really good.
It's so good. Oh my goodness. I love that one.
You want to taste it, cameraman?
All right, great.
It's
so
really good.
There's 2 more beverages, and I'm going to start clearing these out and get ready for our next round. Hi. All right, so we are moving on to the next round. As you can probably tell, we've had a round or 2 ourselves, so we're ready to go. Now, this next one is called Witch's Brew Sangria, and as you know, I am your kitchen witch, and your kitchen witch's favorite beverage of choice is in fact red wine. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with 1 cup of red wine. I used a dry red wine. This is a Pinot Noir. If you really like the sweet wines, you could absolutely go for a red sweet wine. I can't even think of the name of one because I don't in fact drink them, but I know they're out there. And then 1 cup of very strongly brewed Earl Grey tea.
Ooh.
And that gives a little bergamot flavor to your sangria. And then we're going to add in 1 cup of pineapple juice. I'm going to give it a little shake here. I am actually using a pineapple ginger, which you can often find this brand in the Jamaican section of your grocery store if you happen to have a grocery store that has a lot of international sections. Otherwise, you can also order those off of Amazon. Now, everything that I made here today, I purchased at either the local farmer's market with a good international section, or many international sections, and a pretty high-end liquor store. So if you live in a town with those 2 things, you should be good. And if not, I tried to pick things that you could easily buy offline. Now I have fresh grated ginger for this because I love the kick of ginger, especially in beverages. So I've grated about a teaspoon of fresh ginger here. Now I have a little secret for you. If you have trouble finding fresh ginger where you're at, or you don't want to go to all the trouble of grating it and stuff, you can, in most farmers markets that have an Asian section, get these instant. It's a cocktail show. Don't at me. All right, so this is easily found in the tea section of a lot of Asian grocers or farmers markets that have a good international section. They're called instant ginger crystals, and it's basically dehydrated ginger tea. So it's like instant ginger tea, and it's just ginger.
Spicy.
So you can also add it to any cocktail that has ginger if you want to amp up the spice level. So here we have our sangria. I personally feel like all sangria needs some fresh fruit in it. So I have some blood oranges and some blackberries.
Pretty.
I'm gonna throw my sangria right on top of that. Oh man, that looks so good. Try not to spill anything. Oh. I mean, it's all of my favorite things. It's my favorite tea. It's my favorite beverage. Oh wait,
Really good. Yeah, but
I was like, it's not really as strong as I expected because I forgot to add my favorite gin. So a lot of times with sangrias, they'll have added like orange liqueur or, you know, add something to fortify the wine, as they say. So what I'm doing is I'm adding my favorite of the pink gins, which is a nice herbally flavor. I'm gonna add, I was gonna add 2 ounces to that. So I'm gonna add a splash here.
there you go.
I mean, it's a party, right? It's convention. Let's go. Let's go. All right, let's try this again. I bet it's gonna be even better right now.
Yes.
Okay, let me turn him around so he's facing the camera. There we go.
Little guy. On the square.
Oh, that's
There
what I
we
was
go.
expecting. See, that's what I was expecting.
Oh, there we are.
Even
That is
better,
yes,
right?
Much better. Yes. Oh, that even brings the burn a little more to the back.
Mm-hmm. And that very slight rosiny flavor that's in this, like, it's not as strong as a regular gin, but it's got all the extra herbal stuff, so it just kind of pulls it all together, especially with the ginger and the fruit.
Yeah, I like that blood orange.
Right? I know.
So
And the best part is, after you've been like drinking the sangria, you start eating all the fruit. It's perfect. It's like a drink and a snack.
It's true.
All right, so we are moving on to our second science fiction reference. And whether you are familiar with the term ambrosia from Battlestar Galactica or from, you know, the shenanigans of those guys up on Mount Olympus, everyone has a recipe for ambrosia. It was the nectar of the gods and also the most popular beverage of choice in... I didn't pre-open it. I'm trying to make sure that it doesn't shoot all over me on camera, because that would be mildly entertaining. Is it gonna happen? Oh,
It
tighten
might.
it up. It might happen. So
It could happen.
So also sometimes on Battlestar Galactica, you know, there were beverages, and this was the one. I think it's safe now. Yes. Okay. And I have many friends for whom Battlestar Galactica is a religion, not a show. So this one's for you. So what we are going to do here is I have a green apple soda. This is one from Mexico. You can absolutely use one from pretty much anywhere. I like the Mexican sodas because they're most often sweetened with regular sugar and have a little less sugar to them. I'm gonna have another sip of this because had a frog in my throat. All right. And this is an herbal liqueur. It's made from aniseed, so it is on the licoricey side, but not as strong as like an absinthe or
Jaeger.
Jaeger or anything like that.
Plus, it's pretty.
And that's kind of the idea, is that we want to get that beautiful green color. All right, sorry about that. Minor technical difficulties. Everything is fine. Everything's been straightened up. So here we have our basic sipping beverage. It is the apple with a much lighter than usual herbal anisette flavor, so that it's not slap you in the face licorice. Because, and if you like that, go for an absinthe or something like that. But this is a little more mild.
The green apple.
Yeah, the green apple really like brings the licorice flavor down.
That's really good.
So it tastes kind of like it has the same amount of anise flavor as like a biscotti, like a proper Italian biscotti.
Yeah,
it's just got that hint of anise without that like, oh my gosh.
Nobody likes to be. Well, that's not true. Some people like to be slapped in the face, but this has. I like the bubbles in, in that too. Like which I wasn't expecting.
It's fun for
Even though you
sipping.
said soda.
Right.
I guess it looks so calm. I wasn't expecting bubbles.
Well, and also with the high liquor content, it kills some of the bubbles, so it actually makes it a little less bubbly. But also, if you like traditionally on Battlestar Galactica, it was drank straight, but you could absolutely add it, have it on the rocks, or throw a twist on it, or however you wanted. And so that is this round, and we are about to clear up and get set for our last round of drinks. Welcome back. This is our last round here at the Kitchen Witches Bar, and with my lovely friend Julie, the bar witch. That was a witch with a B, promise. All right, so what we're going to start out with is the Writer's Smash. This one goes out to all you in the right track. We all know how frustrating writer's block can be.
Yes.
Those of us who have partaken in the writing of anything. So what we're doing here is we're going to enjoy a little smashing. So we have 4 good sized leaves of mint going into the bottom here with a tablespoon of brown sugar. The reason why we're using brown sugar instead of white sugar is because it has some molasses in it, so it gives it kind of a smoky flavor. And 2 good sized blackberries. Now, if we are in an area, a place, or a time of the year where blackberries are not prolific, you can use a tablespoon of blackberry jam, or you can use about a tablespoon of frozen blackberries as well.
Yum.
And just thaw them out first so you don't like break your glass. All right, so you can use a muddler. I'm using the pestle from Mortar and Pestle, or the mortar. I never remember which one's which. I'm using my own private little muddler. So here's where you get rid of the writer's block, okay? You know, you just think about how frustrating it is not to be able to figure out what to put on the paper. And you get all of your frustrations out right here, and you're like, ah. You know, if you're trying to think about a specific scene, like, what is my antagonist gonna do? Ah, you just work it out. And once you've like gotten all of these like oils in the mint, can you smell it from there? It smells so good. Once it is like mashed all to heck and back, and you're feeling a little bit more creative, you can start adding stuff into it, using your creative juices. And in this case, our creative juices are coming in the form of Jameson. You can use any whiskey, bourbon, scotch. I'm not going to judge you. You do what you need to do in your own house.
You may not have Jameson.
You may not have Jameson.
You might just have like some, Kentucky bourbon or something.
It's totally fine.
That'll
Go with your bourbon. Go with anything that makes you happy. All right, so we have 2 ounces of happiness right there. And then we are going to add 1 ounce of simple syrup, because this is a little bit of a sweet drink. Let me put it down so I can see it, because if you're looking down, you can't really tell. All right. Okay, and then I'm gonna throw some ice in here. I like mine on the rocks. We're gonna top it with soda. Give it a little stir once again with the magic stirring stick. Now, I personally think anything that you have muddled mint in, you should just throw all kinds of extra mint on top, because that stuff is just,
It's so
I will
pretty.
just eat it. It's perfect.
It's pretty, and it makes a nice, pretty little garnish.
And as we mentioned, we're out on my back deck, where my neighbors have apparently decided to, build an ark or something. So, anyway, that's happening.
I thought they were shooting something.
Oh, that's delicious.
Oh, that is really good.
The blackberries and the mint work really well together because like the blackberries have that extra sour bite to them, and the mint and the sugar and everything like all kind of work together.
That's good.
It's a very sweet cocktail, but
Well, I like that you added, it's like an orange flavor, but there's no sugar at all in it, and
Right.
it really kind of lightens it up a little bit.
exactly, it's not super thick and cloying, and it gives you all of the magic of the whiskey or bourbon of choice with a little bit of specialness. All right, now this is one that was actually requested by Jesse, one of the co-chairs, and he wanted a pretty simple whiskey or bourbon cocktail. So this is our slightly more simple version. So this one's for you, Jesse. Here we have the Zoom Party Cocktail, also known as I May Not Be Wearing Pants. You don't know.
It's a Zoom party.
I mean, that's what Zoom parties are about, right? So in your highball glass, I'm gonna go ahead and put some ice in there. Since we're not muddling anything, we can go ahead and stick our ice in as much or as little as you'd like. We're going to go with our Jameson again. Here we go. We have 2 ounces.
No, just kidding.
Perfect. Done.
Perfect.
Right? I know some of the writers would be like, stop, don't move. Yes. Just follow along, you'll get better. Okay, so here is 2 ounces of just spiced apple cider. The beautiful kind you can buy in a jug. And we are adding some more of our ginger beer. Just a little bit to give it a little bit of effervescence. Make that whiskey go down a little smoother. Oh. Ooh, Jesse, you were totally right on that. That's delicious.
Now, if you were going to give this one a garnish,
Now,
what would you do?
if you were going to garnish it to get a little fancier, I would put in the juice of 1 lemon and throw, well, it's supposed to be open. Here it is. A lemon wedge on the side. And now it's gotten fancy.
It's true. Lemon makes everything fancy.
I mean, look at you. All fancy and lemon. It's true.
I forgot I was wearing lemons.
See,
Oh, I like that.
I like it better with
I
the
like it
lemon.
better with the lemon.
But depending on how easy you want your cocktails, you can go either way. And I think that's it for today.
Very good.
We have made 12 mixed drinks. We've covered a pretty wide gamut of the liquors that are available around here.
And I've had them all.
I know, right? So I think that's it for today. I'm going to just start wrapping up, and I'll be back and give you a shout out at the end.
Bye.
Thank you for joining us, friends. This has been so much fun. We are all very excited to have gotten an opportunity to share our virtual con experience with you. Now, for all of these recipes, you will be able to find them on the Multiverse website at multiversecon.org or on my website at mamamakercook.com. If you have any more questions or you just want to reach out and say, hey, I love this, maybe throw some ideas our way, please feel free to comment and message and do all of the things. And we are really looking forward to seeing you all in person next year. I'll be in the con suite. I'll be counting on seeing you there. Have a great one. Mwah.